I'd love to hear your opinion on Nielsen's decision to include streamers' first-party data into ratings. Um, Dan, do you have a POV on that? Is that a step in the right direction?
It's it's certainly interesting, and my understanding is the first use cases are Amazon's football games and now Netflix's football games.
Mhm.
So that's it's interesting that Netflix would want to do that. It shows the strength of the NFL. They don't want to air a game without getting those ratings back. It keeps them in the driver's seat because they get to say to Netflix, hey, we're doing 15 million viewers on the night of the game. We're as strong on you as on anybody else. Um, so I kind of get lost on that side of it, the chess match between the NFL and the streaming services. I think perhaps for Nielsen, it helps them stay relevant, but maybe at this point isn't really moving the needle for their business very much because they too want to be reporting results from every NFL game. I don't
Mhm.
know if it will get to the point uh, where it's taking ratings from other live events like WWE on Netflix would
Right.
be the next example.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting development for sure. And I wonder if, what advertisers' thoughts are. I don't know if anyone has, heard from advertisers. Do you think they're going to push back on this, or do you think they're going to welcome the additional insight?
I I feel like, I mean, I agree with Dan that the chess match of it is interesting and the order in which it's rolled out and which publishers are excited about it. That's interesting and will speak to some extent to like the volume and how much these various publishers feel that their content is underreported. That said, I think from an advertiser perspective, it's sort of like once the cat is out of the bag, I don't know that you can put it back in kind of thing. Like, are you so, like, okay, so this is real data now. It's coming from the publishers. And yes, maybe there's some methodological things. Are we really deduplicating across all these users, whatever? But at the end of the day, if you comparing that to panel data, I'm sure as an advertiser, you want to know whatever is more accurate, right? Whatever is more reflective of what the true reach is. So I think it's going to be hard to make the argument that like, no, we shouldn't take into account that first party data. We should only rely on the panel because people know panels are flawed, right? People know that that's has issues. So to me, it's a little bit inevitable. And yes, it may favor certain publishers initially, but I can imagine there will be demand for it on the buyer side.
Yeah, can't put the genie back in the bottle, I guess. Damon, you have something to add?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting for us because it's like we're not, I don't have Breaking Bad or major NFL shows on Reverie. The way that, just to kind of step out of Nielsen, that we're measuring success of certain shows and campaigns is just the impression served, right? At the end of the day, like let's just look at the macro level. How many people just watched it and how long did they watch it for?
Right.
Um, I don't think that, at least in our lane, that panel data, that product that Nielsen has put out, we haven't opted into that in any way because it's not going to move the needle for us towards any type of buys. It's more the brand lift, it's more the studies, it's more the intent, it's more the contextual, it's more the targeting, it's more all the things that we talked about prior that I think are really important to get the advertisers start spending more and more.